Intervals. One of my favorite things to practice, and one of the most beneficial, is working on your intervals. Now, a lot of people work on their scales, their chords, their licks, their patterns, songs in different keys, transcriptions. That's all great. But the missing ingredient for many people is intervals. And the intervals, to me, those are the building blocks of all of the melodies that we play and that we learn. So I was just playing my major seventh intervals ascending, so I was going up, say like a C up to a B, and then I was going in the circle of fourths, or the cycle if you like to call it that, and I was just going around the cycle and I was hearing them. I'm experiencing the sound of them. Now, I like all intervals, but major sevenths are really special to me because to me the major seventh, it expresses a lot of harmonic information with a minimum of notes. It's got just to me a very pleasing sound to my ear. So, and I like to start people out with these larger intervals rather than the small ones because I find that people are already kind of used to the small intervals when they're working on their scales. They're doing seconds, major and minor seconds within the scales. And when they're doing their chords, they're doing major and minor thirds. So to just get the ear kind of opened up, I like to start with the big intervals first, and then we'll work them down to the smaller intervals. So major sevens are the first ones. Now, if you're not yet comfortable just playing major sevens or just naming what they are, you can sort of use a major seven chord as sort of a crutch to get you by. So think about C major 7, C, E, G, B, and remove the third and the fifth from that chord, you will be left with C, B, right? So we got the major 7 chord. Remove the third and the fifth, you're left with, okay? Let's do it again on an F. Now this is only one harmonic context, but it's a good one to start with. Nothing wrong with that. Let's do it another way. Let's go down the chord first. And this one really sounds beautiful to me. Very melodic. Similar to the melody of an old song called Early Autumn. If you check that out, that was Stan Getz's first hit with Woody Herman from 1948. And the melody of Early Autumn sort of does that. Brings out the sound of that major 7. So, what's interesting, a lot of times when I'm practicing, to hear the interval going up, I play the chord going down. To hear the interval going down, I play the chord going up. So it's providing a nice contrast for my ear. It makes it really easy to get a hold of that sound of the interval, okay? And this particular exercise works especially well with the sevenths, okay? So what I'd like you to do, here's the assignment. Practice them within the chord structure at first, so you can hear it in this particular context as the root and the seventh on a major 7 chord, okay? That was B flat major 7. I went B flat, D, F, A, and I dropped down to the B flat. Then do it the other way. Once you're comfortable with that and you've gone through all of the keys, doing that system, going up and then going down and then dropping or raising up to the interval, get rid of the chord arpeggio part and do just the interval, which is what you heard me do at the beginning of this session. That kind of thing. Once you're good with the ascending intervals, start doing the descending. It's very important that you experience the sound of these. I'm really hearing da ba 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 da ba. I'm hearing the sound of it. A, B flat, okay? That's an essential part of it. So if you're just doing them by remembering either fingerings, like muscle memory, or if you're remembering letter names, those things will get you to play the right note on the saxophone, but they're not going to stay with you, and they're not going to be fast enough when you're actually up there on stage playing and having to hear these sounds in real time as the tune is going by. So I can't stress enough, make sure that your ear is hearing these intervals and that as you hear them, the exact notes you hear are coming out of the instrument at all times. That should apply no matter what you're playing. But when you're working on these intervals, this is going to sharpen your ear and it's going to improve your accuracy on the horn as well. So, do the sevenths ascending and descending in all 12 keys. For now, we're going to do them with the major 7 chords. There will be other videos where I show you additional harmonic contexts for the major 7 interval. But for now, you're going to get them ascending and then descending. If you're a more advanced player and you want to kind of raise the level a little bit, try alternating. Go up one, down the next, up the next, B flat A, down the next, D to E flat. And then do the reverse. B down to C, F up to E. And to me, these just sound so beautiful. I could work on this for a long time and it would be interesting to my ear. It would be interesting to play. So, take your time with these things. This is not really a race. A lot of people, as soon as I show them this, they'll say, okay, I want to get them all in as fast as I can. You don't want to go fast. You want to do quality work and you want to give your ear enough time to absorb the sound. And that just takes time. So it's not something you can do in a day or a couple of days. I would say for each interval, a minimum of a week in your practice routine on that one interval alone. And I'd say, there is no maximum, but I'd say anywhere from a week to about 4 weeks or so. 4 to 6 weeks, if you want to really get deep into that one particular interval, would be fine. Think long term. Say within a couple of years, you want to have worked on all the intervals, and then you can start mixing and matching them. But take your time, because it's going to really serve you well if you go slowly and do very deliberate and accurate work, as opposed to just playing them really quickly and then moving on to the next thing you think you need to work on. Okay, so when you hear them, and it's going to enhance your listening. When you're hearing recordings, when you're hearing people live, these intervals, after you've worked on them, they kind of start to jump out at you. Okay? So, have fun with that. That's just one context. It's hearing it as the root and 7th on a major 7th chord, but that's a good place to start. And then there's going to be additional lessons where I give you much more advanced placement of the major 7s, and those get really fun. So, work with this, and I'll see you later.